This segment of Labatt Buffalo Main Event is brought to you by
O Restaurant and Lounge, 3047 Sheridan Drive in Amherst. It's not just a place to eat, it's something to do.
Welcome back to Labatt Buffalo Main Event. It is now time for the O Restaurant and Lounge email segment. Go to our website, buffalomainevent.com, send us an email, and if we use it on the air, you'll get a $25 gift certificate to O Restaurant and Lounge. Brad, the first email comes from Jim Willie in Lovejoy, and he says, Thomas Vanek has been demoted to the second line. He's been struggling all year. Do you think this shakeup will improve his game?
Is that really a demotion? To me, it's not a demotion. I'm looking at a line now of the Sabres' best playmaking center in Tim Connolly, their best scorer in Thomas Vanek, and their best shooter in Al Kodalik. So I like that combination. Shake-up is a good idea, but there's no way I'm applying the term demotion to that. I thought it was time to make some moves. Lindy Ruff's making some moves, but is it a demotion to you?
But do you think in Lindy Ruff's mind it was a demotion? I'm thinking, he doesn't use Vanek in the ice bowl, in the shootout in the ice bowl, and I think that perplexed me. Why are you not using, suppose, your best scorer in that? So, and then right after that, saying he's going to switch up the lines. He was obviously with Roy for such a long time. So, in Lindy Ruff's mind, is it a demotion, or is it trying to do something to shake this guy up, to get this guy going to make him what he should be, and that is a 30 to 40 goal scorer?
I wouldn't read too much into him not being in the shootout. Sometimes he's in them, sometimes he's not. It's the type of thing that Lindy Ruff will say. He hates choosing who goes in the shootout.
Going back to what we were talking about, you could shake up the line. They're still getting scoring opportunities. Mm-hmm. That's not necessarily the problem. It's not bearing the scoring opportunities, and it is also obviously not playing defense very well. That is the bigger problem.
Our next email comes from Dan in North Buffalo. He asks, which of the NFL winners from this past weekend has the best chance of winning again next weekend?
I think San Diego in the AFC, obviously. Not that Jacksonville doesn't have a chance. If there is a slight win,
doesn't have a chance.
Well, if there's a slight win problem, you're not running on Jacksonville, and they will run on you. So if there's something that affects New England's passing game, they do have. But I'm not going to use that.
They're going to lose by 30 points.
Well, if there isn't, yes. San Diego, though. San Diego, yes. I think, is playing very well. I, like you, love Phillip Rivers. I've always loved Phillip Rivers. I thought he played extremely well. He was injured last year in the playoffs, and I think you saw what a healthy Phillip Rivers can do, and even with no help from LT. Well, now you get LT in the Dome, so I think that San Diego is a very dangerous team. They beat Indianapolis in the regular season, so answering that question, I would say the San Diego Chargers.
I would give the exact same answer for pretty much the same reasons. Love Rivers, and you know what I love about Rivers lately is he's starting to turn into kind of a cocky jerk.
Oh, he is.
I mean, he just every week that I watch that Chargers team, there's a little bit more arrogance, but it's swagger. When you're playing well, it's swagger. Right. You're not a jerk.
Right.
You're a strong leader.
Right.
I like that out of him. Merriman was kind of invisible this past weekend. I haven't seen a ton of them, but he's still a Pro Bowl caliber player. Steroids or not, he's the type of player that I expect to make an impact. Their defense is still stifling without him making an impact. If he has a strong game this coming weekend, I would pick San Diego to win that game.
And I think the Giants may be over Seattle. Seattle's so up and down. I think they get crushed in Green Bay. But the Giants, they might have a chance. They're playing pretty good football, and they might have a chance against Dallas. Thank you for your emails this week. Again, go to our website, buffalomainevent.com. Click on the O Restaurant and Lounge. Send us an email, and we'll give you a $25 gift certificate to O Restaurant and Lounge. Coming up next on Labatt Buffalo Main Event, it's Niagara University basketball coach Joe Mahala.
Whenever I get an opportunity to speak to a group of seniors, the first thing that I like to talk about is planning ahead. Whenever we have a conversation, I hear things like, well, I want to stay in my home forever. And that is wonderful. It's a great plan. It's a nice vision to have. And it's quite frankly, probably possible. But there's always the possibility that it may not be. If you don't take an active role in planning now, you may not have the opportunity to participate when the time comes.
Bristol Home in Bristol Village. Assisted living where family matters.